If you guys want coins for FC24, make sure you check out MMOEXP.com. Their link is down in the description. They're very fast, they're very cheap, they're very reliable, and if you use my code REMA, you can get yourself a lovely 5% discount. So what's up guys, it's Ash here and welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. I hope you guys are all having a fantastic day so far. In today's video guys, we have the updated 442 custom tactics and player instructions to help you out in FC24 if you are struggling. Just before we get into the video guys, I would very much appreciate it if you could drop it a thumbs up, as it does really help me out with the YouTube algorithm. Also sub to the channel if you are new so you never miss out on any videos, and don't forget to turn on those notifications. And yeah, with all that aside guys, let's get right into today's video. Alright then guys, so starting off with the tactics for the defensive style guys, we pop it on balanced, as it does give us the best control over our defense. When we want to press, for example, we can, and when we want to drop off and be a bit more passive, we can also do that. So I really do recommend balanced. However, if you want to use some pressure tactics, then that is absolutely fine. For the defensive width guys, I would advise anywhere between 40 and 50, as it does give you a nice narrow and compact defense to block out all those attacks through the middle. You don't want to go lower than this really, because you still need to cover the wider areas in case an opponent goes down the wing. So you want to be narrow but not too narrow in your defense. For the depth guys, you can pretty much use whatever you want. A lot of people like to use 71 depth, where you get that automatic press from the AI, and the middle of the pitch is really congested, things like that. But I'm not a big fan of it. I know a lot of people do like it, so you can use it if you want to. It's a very viable option, but I prefer something like 65 or 60, where we've still got that higher defensive line. We just have a bit more control over when we press, so it's a bit more manual. If this is still too high for you, you can lower it even more, and that is fine. For the build-up play guys, I always recommend balanced, as I find it to be the most varied and the most consistent way to build up the play. With balance, you can pick and choose between all the different types of build-up styles, such as slow build-up or fast build-up, whenever you want to, essentially. In addition to this, even if you want to play slowly, you know, solely, or fast build-up, these specific settings are really bad in my opinion. For example, slow build-up doesn't help you build up slowly. Your players just move around really sluggishly, and the same with fast build-up. The players just move around like in a very chaotic manner. So I don't advise this. I recommend balanced. Now for the chance creation guys, direct passing is the way to go, as it's the only way to consistently break down the park the bus defences and score in the meta of this game. When you use direct passing guys, what will happen is your attacking players will make runs, defensive players will then follow your attackers making the run, and then once the defender has overcommitted to the run that the attacker has made, then the attacker will track back, so that you can cut back to them or pass to them. So yeah, cut back FC24 for you. It's a bit boring, but it works. For the attacking width guys, you can pretty much use whatever you want. All you really need to know is the higher the width, the wider your attack, the lower the width, the more narrow. So with a formation like the 442, I'd advise anywhere between like 40 and 60, 40 being on the more narrow end, 60 being on the wider end. So just find a balance for what you like. For the players in the box guys, we have this on 6. This is so we can get a few players into that penalty area without overcommitting, because we don't want to get counter-attacked. And then for the corners and the free kicks guys, you can do what you want, but I just have them on 1. Moving on to the player instructions guys, on both the strikers we have them on stay central and get in behind. We have them on stay central because we don't really want them drifting out into the wider areas. They are our strikers after all, so we want them to be in the middle so that we can rely upon them. We also pop them on get in behind as opposed to mixed attack, as you get a lot more out of them, and it stops them being static against people using pressure tactics. If you play against someone using a pressure tactic and you have them on mixed attack, a lot of the times these players just won't move and they won't help you out. So stay central, get in behind is the best in the majority of cases. Now for the right mid and the left mid guys, we pop them on come back on defense, cut inside, get in behind and get into the box across. Come back on defense just ensures that they do take up the correct defensive position when we don't have the ball. If you have them on basic defensive support and these players do not have the best defensive work rate, a lot of the time they'll get a bit lazy and they won't fill in the correct position. But come back on defense ensures that they will actually take up the correct position when you don't have the ball. Cut inside's a really nice movement that I like with the AI, so they start their runs out wide and then they transition into the more narrow areas to get closer to the strikers and things like that. It's not something you have to use, but it's something I really like using. For the support runs, of course, we pop them on getting behind because we want them to get down the line. We want them to help us out. If you have them on mixed attack, they can be very static and not do too much. We also pop them on getting to the box across so they don't hesitate in getting into the penalty area. So that is the same for both the left mid and the right mid. Moving on to the left centre mid, guys, this is the more defensive-minded midfielder of the two in the centre. So I advise like a balance where you have one more defensive-minded player that's going to stay back, and then you have a more box-to-box style player next to them. So on the more defensive one, we have them on stay back and cover centre. Stay back so he doesn't go flying forward, of course, and then cover centre so that he will cover that middle area. For the right centre mid, guys, the more box-to-box player, we leave them on the default settings and then change them to cover centre. This is so that they can do a bit of everything. For the fullbacks, guys, whichever one is the most attacking one, I suggest balanced overlap. This is so you can get that extra width on the overlap, stretches out the opponent's defence, and since the right mid and the left mid are cutting inside, it leaves space for them to do this. For the other fullback, guys, the more defensive one, we have them on stay back and overlap, so you always have at least 3 defenders back at a time, but when you send them on the run forward, they'll make that overlapping run to give you that extra width. For the 2 centre-backs, we leave them alone, and the keeper, we also leave them alone. But yeah, guys, they're my tactics and instructions for the 4-4-2. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, please be sure to drop it a thumbs up, sub to the channel if you are new, and don't forget to turn on those notifications. And yeah, with all that aside, guys, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace out, guys. Take care.